quick take. So it's been a minute since I've done a quick take, but there's a couple of things I want to address in this edition of Quick Take, brought to you by The Pod Show by Beat Fact Music, Unscripted 101 also, all the other stuff that I do. Check it out. You guys know where to go. I've said it many times, but before I go to what I want to start with, let me just address the NBA situation. Of course, the ratings situation, everybody's talking about ratings being down and all that stuff. The answer to that situation is the product. Myself being a fan of basketball, being integrated into basketball for over 30 plus years, it's the product. It's the product. It's the people that are running it, the money that's being filtered around. Basketball itself has become a billion-dollar business, from the high school system to AAU to the Jewel Prep, all that other stuff that's going on. As far as the NBA product, it is what it is. You can say whatever you want. You can come out and criticize the NBA veterans, legends, Hall of Famers for criticizing the product of the game for what it is today, based on the fact that people don't watch it, based on the fact that the numbers are showing that it's poor. It's true. And, watching an NBA game back then was absolutely, it was mandatory, especially tomorrow being Christmas Day for most of you or some of you across the world. Tomorrow would be Christmas Day games. You were ready. You were excited. You were ready to go and watch those Christmas Day games. I'm not. I'm a Knicks fan. I know my Knicks are playing tomorrow. I'll check it out. But am I excited about NBA games? I can care less. I'll be watching the 2 NFL games tomorrow. My team is not playing, but I'll be watching the 2 NFL games tomorrow. That's what I'll be watching on Netflix. That's what I'll be watching tomorrow. This is why the NFL is always going to be where they are. Because the NFL has put together a system that is good enough to allow players to be successful, but also for players to understand, if you don't put in the time and effort in some cases, because some cases it's fate, some cases it's just unfortunate circumstances, but if you don't put in the time and the effort, you're not going to be in the league for long. So some guys are working their butts off right now, trying to get a position, trying to get a spot, even though we're getting close to playoffs with 2 weeks remaining in the season. The NFL is a grind and go league. So if you're not going to grind, you're going to go. Plain and simple. The NBA is not like that. There's too much cuddling, and it starts from the top. I keep saying it before. Adam Silver, is he a nice guy? Probably is. I'm sure he is. But nice guys are not good when it comes to $1 billion business. With all the three-point shooting, the lack of effort from some of the players, the load management, which has gone out of control. Like David Stern, during his latter stages of being a commissioner, had a couple incidents where he had to nip it in the bud. National TV shows, guys are not playing, guys are taking time off. If you're not LeBron James or Steph Curry, guys like that who have put the time in, guys can say whatever you want about LeBron. LeBron has put in his time. Steph has put in his time. Even when he has his ankle injuries, he finds a way to come back and ball. Those are guys I can say, okay, even though I still don't like guys taking games off, because I grew up watching guys play every game. Minimum 70 out of the 82 games. Minimum 78 out of the 82 games, I watch these guys play. So when I see, and hear, for example, Joel Embiid say, well, I'm not playing back-to-backs, and then all these other things just transpire, there's no transparency in the NBA right now. And until transparency is set, and until the NBA has to decide what type of leadership they want from the top, until the NBA gets a leader that is willing to understand, yes, times have changed. We can't be like the 80s. So we got to stop that. We can't be like the 90s. Let's stop it. We can't be like the early 2000s. Let's stop it. But until there is a leader in place that understands business and the performance and having guys ready to play so people could actually watch, the NBA is going to get even worse. Nobody's going to care. So to answer the question, if anybody wants to know, and I can care less if you want to know or not, but I'm going to say it, I ain't watching any Christmas games tomorrow. I'll be watching the 2 NFL games on Netflix. So now let's get to the next thing here. So the college football playoffs started during the week, and we had 4 games. We had Clemson versus Texas. Texas won 38-24. No surprise there. Another game, Tennessee at Ohio State. Ohio State winning 42-17. SMU at Penn State winning 38-10. And Notre Dame hosting Indiana, winning 27-17. And by the way, that's a state game. Both teams play in the state of Indiana, just to give you guys a heads up. And before I continue on, as a Miami Hurricanes fan, I've been asked a question, what do I think about Miami not making it? They don't deserve to make it. I can care less what people think. They don't deserve to make it. You cannot lose to Georgia Tech and you cannot lose to Syracuse. Those are games you're supposed to win. Yes, they are conference games, but if you are the best team in the ACC, those are games you're supposed to win. Clemson had a very tough schedule, a very, very tough schedule. Now, if Miami had played Clemson and Miami had beaten Clemson and then they were 10-2, they probably would have gotten in. Another reason why Miami did not get into the college football playoff is because their strength of schedule was poor. It was weak. I can admit that. I saw the teams. I'm like, you should be 12-0. And I said that earlier. If you don't go at least 11-1 or 12-0, you're not making the playoffs and shouldn't. The defense is horrible. They need to work on the defense for next year. They need to get some guys in there on the defense. This back and forth, 38 points, 42 points, nah. Sorry, but, and I'll be honest, I don't see any NFL guys on the defensive end for Miami. I just don't see it. I see a lot of guys, a lot of switching around, a lot of substitutions, the formations. I'm not even going to start with that. My main focus is to talk about the CFP, so I'm going to go back to that. But as far as I'm concerned, Miami not making it was a good decision by the committee. Next year, you get a better schedule and you win the games you're supposed to win. So, with that being said, Texas, Arizona, January 1st. Ohio State, Oregon, January 1st. Penn State, Boise State, the 12th, 31, New Year's Eve. And, of course, January 1st, Notre Dame at Georgia. And everybody knows, if you don't know, Beck is not playing, surgery, all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what Georgia does. But it's great to see this format. I got to say, if I'm going to make my picks, I'm going to go Texas, I'm going to go Oregon, I'm going to go Penn State, and I'm going to go Georgia. I have to. And with the Penn State, Boise State, I know everybody's like, Boise State, But again, I'm looking at strength of schedule, and I'm like, no. When you got Penn State in the Big Ten grinding the way they are in the Big Ten, strength of schedule, I'm going to say this, folks. In college football, it's not just your record, it's strength of schedule. It matters. Who you play does matter. You can't keep winning and getting invites to tournaments if you're playing Division I AAA. You got to play the super conferences. You got to play the Big Tens. You got to play the SECs. You got to play the ACCs. Those are the teams you got to play. If you're not playing those teams, if those teams are not scheduled, how do you expect to win? And then earlier I heard somebody say, oh, well, for Miami, for example, they played Florida State, dead horse team. Florida, dead horse team. This is not Tim Tebow, Florida. This is the whoever's of hoo-ha, Florida. No, not good enough. Win your games and schedule better. So those are my picks. And the whole Ryan Day situation, I got to talk about that because everybody's just clowning this guy. They're not clowning him. They're roasting him. Now, why are they roasting him? I don't know. I mean, yes, he can't beat Michigan. And usually the very, very fact that comes out of every one of Ohio State, Michigan games, the fact is, who wins? And I mean, I understand, like, people are expecting Ryan Day to win those games, and I don't think he's won any. I think he's 0-4 or something like that, which is unbelievable. Like, I didn't even realize that until, like, somebody mentioned it on YouTube, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I saw the stat. Ryan Day is 1-4 versus Michigan. 1-4. His only win was in 2019 when they won 56-27. So since then, he hasn't won at all against Michigan. And then they lost to Michigan this year at home, and I don't even know who the squad is. Nobody knows who's on that team. Just a bunch of guys who just want to play football. No disrespect to Michigan. Congratulations on that win. It was well-deserved. It was a very gritty game, but everybody's like, should he be fired if he doesn't win the college football playoff? Because the standards are different in Ohio State. This is not SMU. This is not Indiana State. This is not Texas Southern. This is not Colorado State. The standards are different. It's either college football playoffs or nothing. Should Ohio State fire Ryan Day if they lose? No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't. Because he's going to keep recruiting. He's going to keep bringing in talent. The transfer portal is wide open. Guys are going to come through. So, no. Now, if Ryan Day had went and then finished 9-4 and didn't get into the college football playoff, absolutely. You fire him. Because the standards are different. He's in the playoffs. He's still competing. And he could possibly win a national championship. And last I checked, he did win a national championship. So I don't know what else to say. Like, how do you just like tell this guy, well, you know what? Thank you very much. You didn't do anything. So we're just going to fire you. Like, that makes no sense. So I know the media and the marks are always ready to like fire guys and throw them under the bus and get rid of them. Like, it's crazy. So, but the guy's career record is 67-10. He's 67-10. So what else do you want from him? Come on. Am I defending him? No. I'm just saying, like, you can't. It is hard to find coaches who want to win. It is hard. It is so hard to find coaches who want to win and who can win. So it's just one of those things where, I don't know. It's just one of those things. And my correction, I don't know if he did win a national championship, but at the end of the day, he's still out there trying to win. So, I mean, how much, time does he need? I don't know. Like, does he need another year? Does he need another 2 years? Does he need another 3 years? It doesn't really matter. The bottom line is that he's going to go out there and do what he can to win. So what's the problem? I'm not defending. I'm just defending the numbers. The numbers against Michigan are poor, 1-4, yes. But to get to the college football playoff every year pretty much, he's done it. He's been getting there, so. And correction, he hasn't won a national championship yet, so he needs to get one. This is a possible opportunity for him to get one. So, I mean, that's what it is. But I'll tell you something also, I'll tell you something else, guys. I like the format. I think it's a great format. Don't go more than 12. I think 12 is enough. I know people were complaining when it was 4. People were complaining when it was just 2. Then when it got to 4, everybody was losing their shit. Then they were losing their shit even more when it went to 8. Now it's 12. This is the format. It should leave and stay. And my thing to all the teams that are trying to get to the college football playoffs, schedule better and win those games. If you schedule better and win those games, you got a chance, right? Like I said, I pick Oregon to beat them, but we'll see. In the Rose Bowl, it's going to be a very interesting Rose Bowl. The Chick-fil-A Bowl with Texas and Arizona State. I got Texas, but who knows? And of course, Penn State and Boise State, the game that nobody cares about because it's on New Year's Eve. That's going to be interesting too. Georgia and Notre Dame, they're missing back. So we are going to see what's going to happen. Because somebody's going to the Cotton Bowl and somebody's going to the Orange Bowl, and then they're going to be playing for the national championship eventually on January 20th. So we'll see. So, folks, that's my take. That's quick take. I know it's a little longer than usual, but like I said, stay safe. If you're celebrating the holidays, happy holidays. If you're not, stay safe regardless. If you're celebrating anything else, enjoy. Stay safe. Good day, good night, good morning, wherever you are. Peace.